Hello, this is Nia with the Rainbow Cauldron, and today is your daily general reading for February 15th, 2014. The moon is waning and in Virgo. And right off the bat, I just want to apologize for the lighting of my camera right now. It's a time of day where the natural light, is kind of going in and out, and my camera is not quite keeping up with that. So sometimes it's really super bright, and then other times it's really dark. So I'm trying to adjust as I go, but I just want to apologize ahead of time for the camera. Okay, so the first card that I put down will be from the Druid Animal Oracle deck, and it will represent the general feel theme throughout the day, something to think about. The four cards surrounding it will be from the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot deck, and will represent sunrise, morning, noon, sunset, and nighttime. Okay, so the first card is the goose, and this is the third time we've gotten the goose this week. So really, we want to pay attention to this because this is something that's really ongoing throughout the week. And the goose represents vigilance and responsibility, productivity, and it's got a lot of family connections here. Working with others, working in partnership, um, and working in unison. Really, a lot of productivity, getting things done. And yeah, so that's the energy that we're feeling today. Productivity. This goose is grounded while this one is flowing through the water, but it's all very calm and working together. And we have them out in the air, which is showing the intelligence, the air energy. The only element that's not in here is fire, which really shows that because fire has a lot to do with passion and action and um, you know, really just fiery feelings. And since fire is not represented in this card, to me this shows that it's a lot more calm. There's not a lot of hustle and bustle. It's just flowing energy that's flowing with ease. Okay, that's okay. All right, so the energies surrounding it, we have the High Priestess, which we got her earlier on this week, and in the same position. So those same energies here. And then we have the Five of Wands. What an interesting card. I think I might have to read from the book for that one. Then we have the High Priest, which is funny to have that opposite to the High Priestess here. So sort of a balance of energies here, which really connects with that, the goose there. And finally, we have the Judgment card again, right at the end. Okay, so starting off with the High Priestess, and this is Sybil, from Greek and Roman mythology or stories. And what the High Priestess is really just telling us is, listen to your inner voice, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut this morning. Really, there's going to be a lot of gut reactions here, and I really want you to listen to those. And that's what Sybil here is telling us, is really listen to your inner voice. And it's as simple as that, really. Not much more to get into with that. Just really pay attention to your gut, and that's a lot of the energies we're getting in the morning. Okay, so this card is pretty interesting, and I'm going to read the story. I did already read this story, but I want to read it again because it was, wow, very interesting. Here we go. All right. Five of Wands, the Ghost of Owiwa. There was a man named Lemon, and I'm not sure if maybe it's pronounced differently, but it's spelled like lemon. There was a man named Lemon whose lust for another drove him to poison his wife Owiwa, who had just given birth to their son. After her death, Lemon returned to his selfish desires and intended to marry his paramour. But the vengeful spirit of Owiwa followed him everywhere and soon appeared on the face of his new bride. Lemon impulsively took his sword and beheaded the ghoulish figure before realizing his grave mistake. There lay the head of his new bride, and not that of the ghost of Owiwa. Though this is a wands card, the sword that Lemon is holding is the instrument of tragedy. He's on his knees, defeated, as he looks to his shadow, symbolic of the um, unrestrained ego and the consequences of his actions. Owiwa's large head here represents a problem that did not go away, but in fact became bigger. And an unexpected obstacle will blind your judgment and leave you disoriented and confused. Relationship problems may be on the horizon. Prepare for struggle and regret. Okay, so, wow, what a dark tale, isn't that? My son just ran over here because he was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. um, okay, so, what we're really getting here, is it's talking about a possible argument with a spouse or a partner, and that may be a literal interpretation, but the fact that we have the goose here really has a strong connection with family makes me think that this is a conflict possibly with a family member or with someone you're very close to, like your partner or your spouse, something like that. So that's something to be aware of. It's possibly some conflict with someone close to you or other people close to you. But also sort of a warning to keep a clear head, you know, and to not jump to jump not to leap before you look, really, because that's what he did here. He, chopped off. Well, first he killed his wife, and that's horrible, and tried to get rid of a problem the easy way, but of course that problem grew, and then was deceived again and leaped before he looked, and created more of a problem. So that's a lot of what we're seeing here: conflict with someone else, and thinking think your actions through. Don't go the easy route. Really, what he should have done is just divorced his wife, but yeah, that sort of thing. Think logically. Don't try to go the easy way out, because it's just going to cause bigger problems. Around sunset, we have the high priest, which is, consort here to the high priestess, and this is apparitions. That's what this is. It's just a general apparition. And apparitions are ghosts or spirits who manifest to convey a message. Um, so, what we're seeing here is some sort of sudden guidance, knowledge, and wisdom, and probably from someone from your past, because the ghost is someone from your past who shows up to deliver a message. So, what it could be talking about someone in your past who's bringing some news, information, particularly guidance or knowledge. And it might not be someone from your past. It might be someone, someone else. But really, this guidance is what we're seeing here. And finally, at the end, we have judgment here, which we saw earlier. And this had to do with the story of the Egyptian judgment where the heart is weighed against the feather of Maat, and if the heart is heavier than the feather, then you go on to be with Osiris. But if your heart is lighter than the feather, then it's eaten by the spirit Amut. So, and it's a very impartial judgment, just looking at the facts and judging on the facts. That sort of energy here. Um, and it's also paying attention to the consequences of your actions. And since we're getting this at the end of the day, maybe we're facing the consequences of whatever actions we took, and they could be positive or negative, because this is not necessarily positive or negative. It's just very impartial, objective judgment, um, good or bad, consequences, good or bad, of the choices that you've made. So at the end of the day, we're seeing results of things we've done. So, and I also wanted to notice that I think the numbers here that showed up are pretty interesting. Here we have 2 and the 20, which reduces down to 2. So 2 and 2, which have a lot to do with balance and working with others, partnership. And here we have 5 and 5, which have to do with conflict and those sorts of energies. Uh, really dealing with everything at once. It is so that's kind of the energy we're getting here, to a balance, or juggling, that sort of energy, balance and working with a partner, um, and possible conflict, or having everything brought to you at once, that sort of energy. And I also wanted to notice the parallels that these two cards had a lot to do with judgment, whereas these two cards, they're two aspects. They're the high priestess and the high priest. So, which also kind of has its own judgment feeling. So, a lot of this has to do with thinking about what you're doing before you do it, and thinking about the consequences of those actions, and that's, you know things are, every action has, an equal and opposite reaction. So, you have to really pay attention to your choices. And that's a lot of the energy I'm getting here. And it is a productive day, as we see that with the goose. So we are getting things done, or um, things are moving along. So, okay, so that is the end of this week's um, I think it's the end of this week's readings. The 15th. Yeah, yep, it's Saturday. Okay, so next week I will be reading, doing the Druid Craft tarot deck. And I've had that one for a while, so I'm not going to need to use the little white book for that one, like this one, because this is a brand new deck. So, and the stories from these ones are very specific, which is why I've used the little white book every once in a while during this, because I really wanted to connect the stories that it's trying to relay with the meaning of the cards. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you had a wonderful week. Thank you, and blessed be.